Hmm. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Joyce Chan, and I will be your speaker for today. So welcome to a practical guide to using your COL account. So here we will be doing a workshop in which I will be showing you how to navigate your COL account. And if possible, if you have another device or you have another monitor, to access your COL account with me so that we can go through this together. Okay. So if you don't have a COL account yet, that would be okay. You can go to our COL website now and you can avail of a 7-day demo account if you'd like during this webinar so that we can go through this together. Because I believe that aside from me just talking here in front of you and showing you what the website can do, it would be nice if we navigate this together because I think that you will get more out of that experience rather than just watching me navigate it. But if you don't have, that would be okay. Rest assured, I will try my best to explain every detail here. And then you can always ask questions on the Q&A portion. Okay. So for those who have another device or have another monitor, kindly ready them now with your COL login details. Okay, so have that ready with you. And then for those who have a demo account, you can also have that ready with you so that we can log in together for this. I've also checked. I believe that I saw some people in the chat saying that the back office was updating, but I checked just a few minutes ago. It is already done. So that usually happens every afternoon for a few minutes, but it is already updated so we can start using our COL account. So don't worry about that. And last is, it may help to have a pen and paper ready with you just to take down some notes. Okay. So let us begin. Okay. So let me just change my screen here to an actual website of a COL account. Okay, so that I'll be doing this live with you. Okay. Okay, so everyone, let us begin. On your any web browser, just type in www.colfinancial.com and that should lead you to this home page. Okay, so this is what we called our landing page. And then kindly log in now into your COL account by putting in your 8-digit user ID and your password here. So in this case, I will be using a demo account here with me to log in. Here. So once you log in, the first thing you will see is the home page. So I do know it is quite overwhelming, but don't worry about that. So first things first, I just want to say that if it's the first time for you to log in, you would need to change your password first. So you just need to click that change profile here, change that password to something that's personal to you, and then try to re-log in again. Okay, so here in the change profile, you get to see your details as well as here you can also edit it to keep your contact details updated as well as change your password. So here in COL, our password would change every 2 months. So don't forget to always keep that updated as well. Okay, now before we begin, I want to ask a question to everyone first. Is that I want to know what you are interested in to learn more about in your COL account. So let me just share with you a poll question for everyone. Okay, so here, which part of your COL account would you like to understand more? So please choose one. Would you want to know more about quotes, how to read stock prices? Do you want to know more about order entry, how to buy and sell? Your portfolio, how to track your investment, or the research? Like, for example, which research should you read, or how do you read our research guides? There. So just key in your answer so that I can see. Okay, so I can see a lot of answers coming in now. Okay, so whichever one here that has the highest percent, I will try to spend more time during this webinar answering that. Okay, so here are the results for everyone. So more than half of the attendees here today, 52%, would like to know more about order entry. Okay, then the next one will be 25% on how to read stock prices. So we'll do that as well. 14% for the research, and last 9% for the portfolio. Okay, thank you everyone for answering this poll. This gives me a guide to know which part of the website I will focus on, spend more time on, and which ones that I will still teach you about, but not as in depth. Okay, so here we will go through order entry, not to worry. Okay, so first things first. When you log into your COL account, usually the first question that our new clients would always ask is, what should I invest in? It's usually that. It's like, once you log in, which one should I invest? And that is where we will now go to our research tab. So for everyone, please click on your research tab, click on the fundamentals, and click on the investment guide. Yeah. So here, investment guide, out of the 300 stocks that are listed in the PSE, we have chosen about 100 here that we study and that we have recommendations on. Okay, so here, I will try to, zoom this in so that everyone can see. Okay, so this is what the investment guide would look like. And we have put in the stock here at the left side, and we arrange them by sectors. Okay, so usually if you don't know what to buy, this is the guide first. Take a look at the fourth column, which is the COL rating, and this is where we put in our recommendation, whether it's a buy, a hold, or a sell. So you can look into what we do recommend as buying and focus there. So as you can see, we do have recommendations for buy in every sector here, okay? And then this will give you a short list of stocks that you can take a look into that we do recommend a buy on. Now, why do we put a buy here? It is because researchers have analyzed this stock and think that their price is actually cheap. So how do we know if something is cheap or expensive? I want you to take a look at the fifth column, which is COL FV. FV would stand for fair value. This is what the analysts think the stock should be worth, or what it is supposed to be worth. Yeah, so what it is valued at. So for example, let's take a look here at Metrobank. So here, so Metrobank would be the fifth bank. So it will be on the fifth row of the bank and financial section. Here in our COLFV, okay, we note that it has a fair value of 81 pesos and 50 cents. So our analyst thinks Metrobank should be worth 81 pesos and 50 cents. But currently, the current price for this one, which is on the third column, is 49.70. So that is quite a bit of discount from what the fair value is. So that is a buy rating. So that means this is actually quite cheap. So here we want to buy stocks that are cheap, but have good value as well. Yeah, so this is how you can now shortlist the stocks that you can research on, take a look at, and invest in. Okay, so don't forget, this is the research tab in fundamentals, then investment guide. Aside from this, for me, I also like to take a look at what I call the EPS growth. This is the earnings per share growth. For me, the higher the number, the better. This tells us whether this company is actually growing its earnings per share. And as you can see here, Metrobank has a 26% earnings or EPS growth. So that's great. Okay. Now, for those who would want to take a look at dividends, you can also take a look here. What is the expected dividend it can give out? And for Metrobank, it would be about 2%. There. So this is how you can take a look at investment guide. Okay, so now as we see here, let's use Metrobank as an example here. Let's see that if you are interested in investing in Metrobank because the investment guide said that it's cheap, The next step that you have to do is take a look at the report for Metrobank. So click on the research tab, click on the archive, and then here are all our research reports. And then let's filter this. On the filter section on top, on the stock, please choose MBT and then click the search button. And then here you get to see our research for Metrobank. Then take a look at a company report for Metrobank. So here, let's just take a look. We have a company report here, but this is the banking sector. So this will be for all the banks. Let's see if we have something just for Metrobank alone. Here, okay. Here we can see, let me just annotate this maybe for everyone. Okay, so here on the company report for Metrobank, let's try to do this better for annotate. Okay, for company reports for Metrobank, we are now going to take a look at this report to see whether Metrobank is really earning, doing well, to see if it is worth investing on. Okay, so what you do is that you just need to click on that report and this will come out. So it is an earnings analysis report, which tells us that the first quarter for Metrobank for 2022, earnings are up by 2.6%, which is above estimates. Okay, so now I'd like to ask everyone, when you see a headline like this, that the earnings is at 2.6% above estimate, do you think this is good news or bad? Would you mind putting on the chat box now whether you think it's good news or bad news? Okay, so I'm getting to see a lot of people typing in that this is good news, and that is correct. Whenever you see something that says it's above estimates, it's above forecast, that means people thought that they would earn this much, but they had exceeded that. That is good news for that company. So as you can see here, what our research does is that on the first page is already the summary of the whole report. So if you're quite busy, just take a look at the first page of the report to see what is the news about Metrobank and whether it's good or not. Here, right, on the last paragraph here, it says that we are maintaining our buy rating for Metrobank. Okay, so this is actually good news, and therefore Metrobank should be on your list of companies to watch out for or to invest in, because this is actually a stock that is cheap and at the same time recommended by our analyst here. Nice. And they are also earnings above estimates. Okay. Now, let's do one more scenario. Okay, let's do one more research that we analyzed. Now, I'd like to just show another poll for everyone. Okay, I want to just show another poll for everyone. What stock would you want to analyze next? Okay, so what stock would you be interested in? Would it be BDO, Ali or Ayala Land, JFC, or Converge? So just choose one, and then whichever the majority says that they're interested in, then that's what we will analyze next. Okay, I can see on the chat box here, somebody asked is that how frequent does this recommendation change? This is updated weekly, but usually fair values are not being updated every day. It is because a company's performance would sometimes, we analyze a fair value that is good for 6 months to 1 year. Okay, so it does take time for companies as well to really grow that company or to report their earnings as well. So fair values are usually good for 6 months to 1 year unless there's breaking news about that company. But that investment guide is updated every week. Okay, so here, let me look at the poll too. It says here, okay, 32% says Ayala Land is what they're interested in. 28% for JFC, 20% for BDO, and 19% for Converge. Okay, this seems like a neck-to-neck race for all these 4 stocks, but let's go for Ayala Land. Okay. So for Ayala Land, okay, let's just close this report and let's go back here. Again, trade tab. research tab, fundamentals, then investment guide. Let's take a look at Ayala Land. So Ayala Land should be under the real estate. Okay. Let's find it here. Okay, Ayala Land is right here. So let me just highlight this for everyone. Okay. So let me just annotate here. So here is Ayala Land. Okay. With a fair value of 42 pesos. So we think, analysts think that Ayala Land should be worth 42 pesos per share. It's currently doing at 25.90. Okay, so that's actually very cheap for this company. So that is why our recommendation here is a buy. Okay, so that's good. It has an EPS growth of 31%. That's really good as well. And a dividend yield of 1.1%. Okay, now let's take a look at the news or about it to see whether Ayala Land is good to invest in or not. Okay, so let's take a look at the archives now. So again, research tab and archive. So for those who have their COL accounts, just filter the stock again through ALI. Just type that in, click Ayala Land, and click the search button so that you will get to see the company report on Ayala. Okay, like the bank, we do have a property sector here for company reports, but we want to take a look at Ayala Land itself, and it is this one. Okay. Now here, it says here, analyst earning. It says that Ayala Land, we are reducing fair value estimates on profit miss. Okay, let me ask again in the chat box, do you think this is good news or bad news? Please type that in. Okay, I can definitely see people are saying not good or bad, or this is bad news. Okay, and that's correct. When you say reducing FV estimate, that means we are reducing its fair value. Okay, so if you take a look at the last paragraph for the first page, it used to actually be before about 45.70. So let me just annotate that again so that everyone can see. Okay. So it used to be 40.70. Okay, there. Okay. It used to be 45.70, but they reduced it by 8.1% to 42 pesos. So that's the fair value that you can see in the investment guide. So even though at 25.50 or 25.90, that's still quite cheap to the fair value, it's just that bad news are hitting Ayala Land, and I think that's why the price of it went down recently. Okay. So it says here that it is because it has a slower take-up of sales in the succeeding quarters due to rising interest rates environment. And they also had to lower the valuation for malls following the reduction of revenue forecast. So I think this is the reason why that the analysts have lowered the fair value. So between Ayala Land and Metrobank, it seems that there are more good news about Metrobank. So now here, you can now decide what stock to purchase because not only have you seen the recommendation, but also read about it so that you can have a better idea or a better guide in terms of your stock investment. Okay. Okay, so now that you have seen what we're going to buy, so for example, here in this scenario, let us assume that we will be buying Metrobank here. Okay, so next thing, once you are done with the research, okay, let's close this now. Once you're done with the research, you now have to read the prices for this. Okay, so let's go to quotes here. Okay, and just put in MDT for Metrobank. Okay, so now I'm going to teach you guys how to read quotes, okay, how to read prices. But before we go into how to read prices, okay, so let me just do a little exercise, a little scenario. Okay. Usually, a lot of people ask me that how come a price of a stock goes up and down every day? And sometimes it can go up and down very, very volatile or very wildly throughout the day. Hey, for stocks, the price goes up and down based on supply and demand. So when you say supply, this would be your sellers. When you say demand, this would be your buyers. These are investors. Okay, so you guys, as investors, you're the one who can actually make the price go up or down depending on the demand and the supply of investors as a whole. Okay, before we go into reading the stock price, okay, let's do a little scenario. Okay, in this example, in this scenario example, let's say, let's take every day an item or staple item such as rice or bigas. So let's say 1 kilo of bigas is around 50 pesos per kilo. Okay. So when you hear, let's say that there's news came out that there's a bad harvest this year in our country, and then rice supply or rice farmers did not harvest so much this year. Hey, now what do you think will happen to that price per kilo for that rice or yung bigas na yun? Do you think the price will go up or do you think it will go down? Okay, so just type that into the chat box so that I can see. Okay. Okay, so a lot of people are typing that the price will go up. Okay, and that's correct. It is because if there are less rice that the farmers will harvest and everyone is still buying rice, the price of it will go up. Right. So now government sees that the price of rice is going up, so they wanted to do something about it, and they said that we will now import rice from our other neighboring countries, and they're now going to come in from Vietnam and from Thailand. Now, what do you think now will happen to that price per kilo? Do you think it will go up or do you think it will go down? Okay. Okay, great. I'm seeing a lot of people typing in that the price will go down. Yan, magiging mas mura daw. Yes, that's correct. It is because now the supply would be now a lot more while you are buying the same amount. So that's why the price per kilo will go down. Okay, so that's the same with how a stock price go up and down for a certain company. Here, okay, so let me just use the annotate again so that you can go with me here. Okay. So here, this is how you read the prices for a stock. This is the same with companies that are listed in a PSE. When there's good news about that company, the price of that tends to go up. If there's bad news about that company, the price tends to go down. Okay, so here, let's go first to the bid column. So this is the green column here. So here, bid column. Bid is another term for buyers. Okay, so these are the buyers here. Let's take a look at what we call the best bid price. So that will be the first row here. Okay, so this is how you read it. There are 19 investors buying 60,500 shares altogether, meaning all of them added up, that's 60,500 shares, and they want to buy it at 47 pesos and 65 cents. Okay, 47 pesos and 65 cents. Now, let's take a look now at the asking portion. Okay, so when you say ask, these are your sellers. Okay, so let me just change this color here so that we don't mix them up together. Okay. So here for the asking, these are your sellers. Then we will take a look at what we call the best asking price. Okay, best asking price is usually the first row as well, first row here. So here it says there are 3 sellers with a combined number of shares of 10,900 shares, and they want to sell it at 47 pesos and 90 cents. Okay. Now, if you are a buyer, which column should you take a look at? Do you take a look at the bid, the same as the other buyers? Or will you take a look at the ask, which are the sellers? Okay, great. I can see here participants are typing in that you have to take a look at the asking column, which is correct. You have to find your equivalent or yung kung ikaw ay bibili, kailangan mo hanapin kung sinong magbebenta. Okay. So here, if you want to buy Metrobank right away, if you post a price at 47 pesos and 90 cents, you get to buy that immediately. Okay? As long as you are buying less than 10,900 shares or 10,900 amount or number of shares or lower, you get to buy this immediately. Ngayon, as you do know that, let's say you want to haggle. Let's say you want a discounted price. You think 47.90 is too steep a price and you want to wait for a better price. Okay. You can actually post a price of buying at 47 and 65 cents, but you have to wait in line after these 19 investors. So you will be number 20 here. Because how it happens in the stock market is that you will fall in line by price and then first come, first serve. Okay? So you can post a price at 47.65, but you have to fall in line after these 19 investors. So you have to wait for a seller to sell it to you at that price. So there is no guarantee, but you can wait for it the whole time. Now, somebody asked here, can you retract your bid? Yes, you can. What you can do is you can always cancel your order to put in a new price if you like. You can do that. Okay, as long as your order is not done yet, you can cancel that order and put in a new price. You can increase it, you can decrease it. It's up to you if you want. Ngayon, usually for me, when I see a price like this, you can also do this. So this is a little trick of mine. Sometimes when I see this, okay, I take a look at this. Let me show you something here. On the right side of your stock page, okay, on the right side, take a look at this portion here. Do you see this portion called fluctuation? Fluctuation means that the price of this stock will move every 5 cents. So it means that I can post an order of 47, I can post an order of 47.90, 47.85, 47.80 every 5 cents. Okay, I can post that order. So what I do, so this is a little trick from me. If you see a price like this, wherein the best bid is at 47.65 and the asking is at 47.90, what I do is that I sometimes put a price in between this price so that I'll be first in line with the other buyers, but at the same time, getting a discounted price from what the seller is asking for. So for example, if I post here that I want to buy at 47 and 70 cents, so that's 5 cents higher than the best bid price here. So what will happen is that I will now be first here. So 47.65 will move down a row. 47.70 will remain here, and I'll be the first one there, waiting for a seller to sell it to me at that price. So sometimes I do that. When I see that there is a price that I can put in between the best bid and the best asking, I put in between so that I get to be the first in line, but at the same time, haggle for a lower price from the seller. So you can do that way. There. Okay. So aside from this, okay, one more thing that you can take a look at as well is, one thing you have to take a look at here pala is what we call the board lot. Okay. So let me just see the board lot here. So it is found on the lower right side, okay, the board lot here. Now, why do you have to take note of this board lot? The board lot for Metrobank is 100 shares. So that means you can buy in increments of 100. I can buy 100 shares, 200, 300, but I cannot buy 150, 250, 350. It has to be in increments of 100. So actually, the minimum amount of money to buy Metrobank is 100 times, let's say 47 pesos and 65 cents. So that's roughly around 4,765 pesos. That is the lowest amount that you need to buy Metrobank. Okay? So please take note, okay, that you have to take a look at the board lot so that you know what is the least number of shares that you can buy. Okay, so that is how you read prices. Okay, so again, best bid, best asking, fluctuation, and board lot is what you have to take a look at this page. Okay, so let's do a little exercise here. Okay, so everyone, let's now move to, let's say, another stock. So let us try to see a stock of, let's try to see Metrobank's competitor, BPI. Okay, let's enter BPI here. Okay, on the chat box, would you mind telling me what is the best bid price for BPI? Okay, looking at this, what is the best bid price? Meaning, what is the price of the buyer that is the closest to the seller? Yan. What is the best bid price? Okay. Thank you very much. Sorry if you feel that this is like a graded recitation, but we just want to do a little exercise here so that you can really read the prices on your own right after this webinar. Okay. Okay, I can see here a lot of people are typing in 87.55, and that is correct. So the best bid price, so the price that is closest to the seller is 87.55. When you say best bid, that is the first row on the bid column. Okay. If you put a price of 87.55, you fall in line. You don't get to buy immediately. But if you place a higher amount, which is 87.60 or higher than this one, then you get to buy it immediately. Okay? So please take note, this is how you read prices so that you know what price to enter when you are going to enter an order. Okay, so now that you know how to read prices, okay, let's now go to putting an order in. Okay, so as you can see, since it's around 5:40 o'clock, 5:42 o'clock today, if you go and place an order, just click on the trade tab and then click enter order. But since the market is closed, okay, I have a video here that I will show everyone. And while that video is showing, I will narrate it so that we can go through it together. Okay? Okay, let me now show you. Now, if this is during market time, between 9 o'clock to 3 o'clock, this is actually what you will see. Okay, so I actually just went to our YouTube page of COL Financial, and I went through this video called Getting Started with Your COL Account. I like this video. I actually made this video with my friend. Okay, so I will now show you what the order entry would look like if you click on the trade tab during market open. Okay, so between 9 o'clock to 3 o'clock, this is what you'll see when you click on the trade tab. This is your entry order page. This is where you actually put in your orders. Now that you know what stock to buy and how to read the prices, how are you now going to put your orders in? Okay, click the trade tab, enter order, this will appear. Okay, we color coded this, okay? Green is for buying, but if you click the sell button here, it will turn to red. Okay, so let me just show you this video, okay? So here, the default is a buy, so it will be green, okay? But if you would want to sell, just click on the sell button here, and then it will turn red like that, okay? So we color coded this because just in case you have a lot of orders or you're doing this quite quick, okay, don't forget to look at the colors. Okay, because I don't want you to put in a buy order when you actually want to sell, right? So that's why we put the colors in. Okay. Now, default usually is what we call the main board. So that means you will be buying or selling within the board lot. So if Metrobank has a board lot of 100, that means you'll be trading 100 shares here or every increments of 100. Now, just in case you have one share of Metrobank, let's say you got it or you were able to buy just one share of Metrobank, just click the odd lot here. Okay, so let me just draw on this. Just click the odd lot here so that you can trade that one share of Metrobank. But for me, try not to transact in the odd lot market because there's only a few buyers and sellers there. It is always best to do it on the main lot. Main would mean we are following the board lot here. Okay. Now, once you click whether you want to buy or sell, next thing is you have to put in your stock code. So if you are unsure about the stock code, meaning you don't know what the stock code of the company you want to purchase, okay, just click on the stock code here, the one that has the underline, and then it will show you a list of the companies that are listed in the PSE and their codes as well. Okay. As you can see here, this is alphabetical. So you can just look for the company that you like. And the stock code is this blue letters here. Okay. Somebody asked, what does GTC and ATC mean? Okay, so let me just go back a little bit on the video to show you. Okay, somebody asked this one, term. Okay, so there are three kinds of orders that you can do. Day is the usual, and that's what I use the most. Day would mean that it's good for the whole day, but if you don't get to buy or sell, it just cancel on its own. There's no fee for that. Don't worry about it, and then you can just try again the next day. Now, a GTC would mean it's good till canceled or good for 60 days, 60 calendar days. So for example, if you want to buy, let's say, Metro Bank at a really discounted price of, let's say, 40 pesos, you want to buy it at that price, you can put a GTC order, so that will put your order in the market for 60 calendar days. So if it goes to 40 pesos, you get to buy it. But if not, it will just cancel at the end of 60 days. Okay, so that's a GTC order. Now, what is ATC? ATC means it's at the close. Whatever the closing price is, you want to buy that share at that price. So that's why when you click ATC here, actually the price field here will disappear. It will just ask you for the stock code and the number of shares, but no price, because it will try to buy at the close for you, whatever the closing price is for the day. Okay. I seldom use that. Okay, so I only use that whenever I think that the stock is going down the whole day and I just want to buy it at the end. But I usually put in a day order because I want to put in the price that I want. Because sometimes during the close, prices may go up suddenly or down suddenly, and I don't want to get surprised with my purchase that I was able to purchase it at the price that I didn't want. So I seldom use ATC. I usually use the day order. There. Okay. Now, just all you have to do here is just fill in this order sheet. So think of it like an order sheet, okay? So put in the stock code. So you can choose from here or you can type it in. Okay, so once you type in, the price will appear on the right side for you right away so that you know the prices while it's moving. Just put in the number of shares and the price that you want. Okay, then click the preview. Okay, so click the preview order here so that you get to see this. Okay, so here is where you review your order. Okay, so make sure that you know that you review that it's a buying, not a selling order. You want to buy 100 shares of Ayala Land at the price of 25 pesos per share, and these are the charges for you. Okay, so as you can see, the charges here is computed, but okay, don't worry about this. Here, if you want to know what the charges are whenever you're buying and selling, whenever you're buying, there are 4 charges to take note of. It's the commission, which is the broker fee, 0.25% or minimum of 20 pesos, whichever is higher. The VAT on commission. So if it's 20 pesos, the VAT, the 12% of 20 pesos is 2 pesos and 40 cents. We, PSE charges a little bit, so we pay them a fee. Okay, so this is, I think, around 0.01. No, 0.001. And then an SCCP fee. So this is for securities clearing. We give them a little fee as well. So there are 4 fees whenever you're buying. So if you will be buying an amount around 2,500, the charge is about 22 pesos and 78 cents for that purchase. Again, if you're not able to purchase, the whole money goes back to you. There's no charge for that. But if you get to buy, then the charge is 22 pesos and 78 cents. So all you have to do is that if you're okay with this already, you have reviewed it, just put in your password here and then click the place by order. Okay, now that you've placed it, okay, you can actually see whether it had gone through the PSE or not by clicking on the view/modify order here on the upper left side. Okay, as you can see, your Ayala Land buying order is still here. Okay, it's still here. It's still waiting for a seller. Okay, the reason is because we put the price in a little bit too low. So we are actually waiting in line for a seller. So that is why you can still see it at the view/modify order. Now, if you want to change this, if you do not want to keep on waiting, you can actually just click the cancel button here on the left side and then enter another order with a higher price so that you can have there. That's how you cancel. Okay, and then just put in another order with a higher price so that you can buy it immediately. So this time it's 25 pesos and 15 cents that we're putting in. Again, same process, putting your password in, okay, reviewing your fees. And then here, you get to see your order confirmation. Now, since we put in a price that is higher, if you go to the view/modify order, your your order is not there anymore because you have already bought the share. That's why it's not in the view/modify order tab anymore. It is because you cannot cancel this as you already found a seller. So if you already found a seller, all you have to do is click on the trade tab. Okay, click the trading history. You can actually view your order here. And as you can see, your order is here and it says here that it is executed. So that means that you were able to execute this, that it was fully matched for you. Okay, and another way to check aside from trading history is go to your portfolio page. And in your portfolio page, first thing you have to take note of is your cash balance has already been deducted. So that means you were able to buy. Okay. And then just take a look at your shares as well, if it had increased or it was credited here. And this is how you know whether your order pushed through or not. Okay, so there. So this is how you really buy and sell in the market. So I hope that was quite easy for everyone. So if you are able to do online shopping, you can definitely do this as well. So instead of shopping for products, you are actually shopping for companies. So it's as easy as that. Filling out an order entry form, then putting it in the market, and then the PSE will try to find you a seller for you, or the stock market will try to match now buyers and sellers. And then just click on your portfolio so that you will know whether you were able to buy or not. Okay, so let me just go through the portfolio here for you as well, so that if you were able to buy, okay, don't forget that your cash balance will be deducted, and your cash balance is here on the upper left. Okay, so if you're able to buy, minus na yan. Okay, na-deduct na yan. Then next thing that you have to take a look at is the number of shares. If this had increased or was it credited to your account? There. Now, usually, okay, look at the average price. Okay, so the average price here, okay, this is already 300 shares when we were just trying to buy 100 a while ago, but the average price of your stock is actually not 25.10 or 25.15 as when you bought it. It is because there is that 22 pesos that was added for the buying fee. So your average price is usually a little higher than the price that you had bought it at. It's usually a few cents higher because of the buying fees. Okay. So here, you can take note of the average price here, how much you purchase for every share, their total shares. Now, a lot of people ask me, what is uncommitted share? So uncommitted share means these are the number of shares that you can sell. That means you don't have a sell order for them. You can sell them at any time. Okay, so as you can see here, it's also 300, same as your total share. That means you don't have any selling order. And then don't forget, gain and loss here is already computed for you, and it's already net of selling and buying transactions, so that whenever you want to sell it, you can actually get to see how much is your gain and loss net of fees. Okay. Now, the reason why we do this net, it is because a lot of our clients before used to sell a share just whenever a stock goes up even 10 cents or 5 cents, but then they'll find out na nalugi pala sila. It is because they did not account for the fees. So what we did was that on your portfolio, we already did it net of buying and selling fees to show you whether you're really a net gain or a net loss. Okay? So that should help. Then one thing also is that I want you to also take a look at your view monthly account ledger. Okay, so should you want sort of like a bank statement that records all your transactions, just click on the view monthly account ledger, and then here you will have this. And I would recommend every end of the month to print this out, because this will be your historical transaction. Every buying, every selling, every deposit, every withdrawal that you have will be written here. So this will be sort of like your bank statement for your COL account. Okay. Okay. So I saw a while ago on the chat, somebody asked about an 8,000 rule. Okay. So it's not really a rule. Okay, so let me just stop this video for everyone. Okay. So let me just show you something. I prepared this for everyone, and at the end of the webinar, okay, I'll give you an Excel file of this. This is actually an Excel file for the fees. So I want to give everyone here so that you can actually put in and compute the fees yourself without doing it manually. So that's why I prepared this Excel for everyone. Okay, so don't worry, everyone will have this. So for example, somebody told me about an 8,000 rule. Okay. If you'll be buying less than 8,000, okay, so let's say you want to buy 1,000 shares at 4 pesos. So that's roughly a gross of 4,000 pesos. As you can see, the commission is 0.25% or a minimum of 20 pesos. Okay, don't forget there's a minimum of 20 pesos. So at 4,000 pesos, you will still be charged with a broker fee of 20 pesos because that's the minimum. Right? 0.25 or 20 pesos, whichever is higher. Now, why is there an 8,000 rule? It is because if you want to maximize the 20 pesos, try to purchase something at 8,000 so that the commission fee is exactly 0.25% or 20 pesos of 8,000. That's how it is. So for example, if you buy something at 8,010, that's the only time the commission fee starts to increase because you're already hitting the 0.25%. But anything less than 8,000, the commission fee remains at 20 pesos because that's the minimum. Now, it's not really a rule, but rather if you want to make use of the 20 pesos as much as you can, then you can trade 8,000 and above. But for those who don't have that budget to do that every time for a transaction, that is okay. It is because if you'll be doing 4,000, okay, okay, the total charge is 23 pesos. It's still quite affordable for your 4,000 peso transaction. Okay? So the average cost for every share that you will be buying is only just 4.02. So it's like 2 cents for every 1,000 shares, right? So it's not so bad. It's just that for some people, they really want to make use of that 20 pesos. They don't want to trade lower than 8,000. So that's why they do it. But you don't really have to if it's not within your budget. Okay? So don't worry, this Excel, will share this with everyone at the end of the webinar. I asked my colleagues here to send you the link so that you can download this Excel. Have it with you so that whenever you're buying or selling, you can just put in the amount of shares and price here. It will compute for you. And then you can also put in, for example, if you bought it at 4 pesos and let's say you want to sell it at 4 pesos and 30 cents, will you have a gain or not? It will compute that for you at the end of the Excel. Ayan. So, ayan, thank you very much. My colleague just shared the Excel here for everyone. So just download that and keep that with you. Okay. So there. So here you can compute for your gain and loss and the fees as well. Yeah, and I hope this is helpful for everyone. A lot of my clients really ask me about the fees. And for me, I assure you, we try to make the fees as less as possible, as affordable for everyone. That's why, as you can see, that whenever you get to buy something, the fees are around 20 pesos, 20 something. And then whenever you're selling, okay, the only time there's an extra fee for selling is the sales tax. So we cannot really do away with that because in the train law, they really put that in. So that's 0.6% of the gross. So that's why the total charge when you're selling is a bit higher, but not to worry. Even with just 30 cents above, you can already sell it at a profit of about 220 pesos. Okay. Now, let's go back to the website. So now that we are done with order entry and the ledger, okay, don't forget, always check your ledger. Next thing that you can do is that, okay, so here. So you cannot really enter an order if during off when the market's not open. So you have to do it in the market open. But for those who have a different time zone, we do have this OH order here. Now, let me see. Okay. So the OH order means off hours order. You can enter orders here, and what will happen is that we'll store it for you so that when the market's open the next day, we'll just push that in for you. Now, the only thing about the OH order for you to take note of is that the price that you'll see here is the price of today before 3 o'clock. Okay? So this will not be the price tomorrow. So if you're going to put a price here, please take note, the price may change once the market opens. Okay, so everyone, don't worry about the Excel file. We will share that link as well for everyone. Okay, or the Excel, don't worry about it. Okay, we'll make sure that everyone gets that. Okay. So OH order, you can do so, but don't forget, prices here was today's price, not tomorrow's price. Okay, so for me, I try to put in the order really during market time so I can see the price that I'm putting in and the current price. Okay, so last thing that I want to show you guys is that just in case you sell, okay, and you want to withdraw your funds from your COL account into your bank account, all you have to do is go to your portfolio and go to this withdrawal request, okay? So I'll highlight that here for everyone. If you want to withdraw funds from your COL account, just click the withdrawal request link here, okay? So once you click on that, what it will do is it will just tell you some reminders that our cutoff is at 7 a.m. So If you put withdrawal request now, it will be processed the next day or 3 days after you're selling. And then all you have to do is enter the amount here, deposit it to your enroll bank account. So this is the bank account that you have in your COL account. Okay. And then just click confirm for that one. Okay. And then just click submit. So that will be your online withdrawal request already. Okay, so our accounting will process that for you and then make sure that the funds are cleared, then we'll deposit it to your enrolled bank account. So please make sure that your enrolled bank account is the same name as your COL account, because usually banks would reject that if the names are different. Okay, so that is how you withdraw. Okay, so now that we talked about withdrawal, let me now ask you another question. So I have another question for everyone here. Okay. Now that you know how to look at a stock, how to read prices, and how to enter an order, now I wanted to ask is, what is your investment plan? Okay. Now that you know how to do all these three, what is your investment plan and how do you go about your investing? Okay, so let me just ask my colleague to flash the poll for everyone. Okay, so there are three. I just kind of want to know what is your strategy or your plan? Okay, so the first option is to buy and sell. So do you plan to buy low and sell when profits come in? So this is really more trading in the short term. You plan to trade, or are you more of a buy and hold investor, wherein you want to earn dividends, let your investment grow? Or do you want to buy and accumulate, meaning you want to keep on buying and then sell it when you need the funds? And so what sort of investment plan do you have? Now, if you don't have an investment plan, you can just choose the letter D there, and that's okay, because I think it's something for you to really think about. Okay. As I can see here, 55% of the participants here says that they want to buy and hold. So you want to buy it and hold it for a long period of time, earn dividends, and let your investments grow over time. Okay, so that would make you a patient investor, meaning you're willing to wait for companies to grow and you're willing to wait for your money to grow as well. Okay, so 21% says they want to buy and accumulate. 19% says that they want to buy and sell. And last is for those who don't have an investment plan, don't worry. Okay, I'll make a suggestion later. I just want to show each and every one what you can use if you have these investment plans. Okay. Let's do first for the buy and hold. Okay. So for the buy and hold, I want to show this to you. And I think that you may. Okay, so I just shared this poll with everyone, so I hope you can see. Okay, so majority really is a buy and hold. I'll discuss that first. Buy and accumulate second, and buy and sell lastly. Okay, so first for the buy and hold, what you may find interesting would be the dividends, because I think if you're going to hold on to something, you buy a stock that can give you dividends, so it's worth waiting for as well while you're waiting for it to grow. What you can do is go to quotes here, go to the calendar, and then here is our calendar of dividends. You can put in the stock code here actually, or you can choose the period of 2022, click the search so that you can see all these dividends that are coming in. Okay, so for those who have their COL account with them, again, it's quotes, and then click on the calendar. Okay, so let's take a look at Metro Bank here. Okay, so this is the stock dividend for Metro Bank. Okay, so this is how you read it. It says here that there are two here. So one is at 1.40 cents, one is at 80 cents. So that means one is a regular dividend, one is a special dividend. That means they earn more than what's expected. So they're giving more dividends as well. So together they are actually giving about 2 pesos and 20 cents for every share that you have. Okay, now who now will get the dividends? Let's take a look at the X date here. Okay, X div date. Okay, one thing you have to learn is that when you say ex-div date, this is not a deadline. It means this is the expiry date. Sort of like an expiry date on a loaf of bread. On that day, it is expired. So you please eat it days before. In this case, for stocks, you have to have the stock a day before March 14. Hey, take note, please have it a day before March 14. So if you have it on March 13, you will get the dividends. But if you buy the stock on March 14, which is the X date, you won't get any dividends. Okay. The reason why I'm emphasizing here is that because I have clients before who would ask us like, where's my dividend? How come I haven't received it yet? Only for us to find out they bought it on the ex div date itself. Okay, so please buy it the day before. Okay. Now, aside from this date, one thing you have to take note of is the payable date. Payable date is when we will credit the cash to your COL account for you to use to invest again or to withdraw if you like. Okay? So the ex-div date tells us who is entitled to the dividends. Payable date is when you will expect the cash to be credited to your COL account. Again, it's not automatically credited to your bank account, it's to your COL account. Then from there, you can just do a withdrawal request if you like, or buy another share if you want to. There. Okay? So if you have already stock in mind, just look at the dividend rights calendar here. So you can take a look at the ex-div date and the payable date and how much you'll get as well. Now, for those who are accumulating, the buy and accumulate, okay, this might be helpful for you. Go to the trade tab and click on the EIP scheduler. Again, trade tab, EIP scheduler. This is sort of like a smart reminder. So it's like a smart alarm. EIP stands for Easy Investment Program. You can just type in what stock you want. What's your budget? So let's say my budget is 5,000 every month and I want to start today. Okay, maybe tomorrow. You want to start tomorrow with a duration of 1 year, and you can choose between a manual or automatic. Manual means it will remind you, and then you just need to click on the buy now for the system to buy it for you. But automatic means as long as you have funds in your COL account, it will automatically buy for you. 5,000 worth of Ayala Land shares every month on the 14th of the month. So if you just submit this, put your password in, you already set a smart alarm in your COL account so that it can accumulate for you automatically. If you don't want automatic, if you want manual, that's okay. What it will do is that it will send an email to you to remind you. And then when you log into your COL account, it will pop up and say that you have a schedule. Would you like to buy now or skip? So just click the buy now to proceed to buy it. Okay. Now, for the buy and sell, okay, this is what will be helpful for you. Go to quotes, go to charting, and then here you get to see the historical prices of your stock so that you can get to see whether a stock is trading in at a low price or at a high price. Okay, so just type in the stock here, and it tells you whether it's a low or high. So you can also change the duration from 6 months to 1 year to 2 years. There you go. Okay. So this tells you that the price of this stock is actually on the low side. You're not buying on the very high side. So that means that's the reason why it's actually quite cheap. Okay. So if you're buying and selling, charting tool will be very useful for you. This also tells me historical prices, and in a graph, in a chart form or in a graph form, it tells me how the prices are moving. There. Okay. Okay. So last question for the day. Okay. last page for the day would be, last question for the day will be, now that you know all these, okay, now that you know how to buy, sell, read prices, do the research, now you know the dividends, the charting, and the EIP. I want to ask everyone is that what would you like to learn more of in the future? Okay. So my colleague, okay, will flash you another poll question here. Now, what do you want to learn more of in the future? Do you want to learn more about mutual funds, about REITs, fundamental analysis, meaning how to analyze companies, technical analysis, or all of the above? Okay, wow, I'm seeing a great number of people saying all of the above, and that's great. I feel like you're really good participants in this webinar that you really want to know a lot about the stock market. Okay. Okay, so let me just share with everyone. Okay, 52% wants to know all of the above. Okay, so I'll share some things with you guys so that you know what's the next step to take. And then second to that will be 18% will be REITs. Okay, so if you will be enrolling to our REITs webinar, I will also be the speaker for that for this month. So I hope to see you there again. Mutual funds will be done by my colleague. We also have one coming up soon. Technical and fundamental analysis, I'll show you how to learn more about those. Okay, so let's start with REITs and mutual funds. Okay. Okay, so let me just open a new tab here for everyone. Okay, if you want to learn more about mutual fund and REITs, just go to the investor education seminars here, and you can definitely sign up for more of our webinars. For the July 20 Beginner's Guide to REITs, I will also be the speaker there. So I hope to see you there as well. And then for mutual funds, there will be one on July 15 that you can still register for. Now, for those who also likes to learn more about mutual fund, I would suggest also to jumpstart it by going to your COL account and click mutual fund here. Okay. Here on the mutual fund section, first thing you have to learn is this research portion. Oh, for me, it's always the research tab is the first one to do it because here will show you all the mutual funds that we have, their performance as well. And I like to take a look at the fees as well so that you can choose which fund has the lowest fees and the best return for you. Okay. Aside from this, click on the mutual fund product guide to tell you what's the minimum investment and what's the additional placement. So for example, here for the ALFM money market fund, so let me just annotate so everyone can see. So that will be the first row. The minimum to invest here is 5,000 pesos and any additional is 1,000. It can even be 1,050 cents. That's okay. Just the minimum is 1,000 onwards. Okay. And holding period is only 7 days, meaning don't sell it within 7 days and it'll be okay. But if you sell it before 7 days, just in case you have an emergency, they have a 1% early redemption fee. But if you sell it beyond 7 days, there's no fee at all whenever you sell it. So you can definitely look at the research tab here to get a jump start on it, but I would suggest going through our mutual fund webinar. For REITs, okay, for those who will do REITs, go to the home page, click on consent to trade REITs, and this will allow your account to buy and sell REITs. So here I've already said consent to it. So just click on I agree whenever you see something here. And then you can, for me, take a look at this research report. Go to research, go to the archive, okay, and okay, this is what I would want you to take a look at. It's called the REIT snapshot, okay. Let me just find that for you. Okay, let's do this. 2022. Okay. I just click Control F to look for it and just type snapshot. Okay, here. June 30. Take a look at this REIT snapshot report. It will tell you all about REITs, their performance, and how we compare them side by side. Okay. Now, for those who want to learn more about technical analysis, okay, for technical analysis, I would suggest go to our YouTube channel. Okay, so this is the COL YouTube. Okay, just go to the videos and then look for technical analysis 101. Okay, let me just see if it's on the playlist instead. Okay, let me just take a look. Okay. Okay, in our YouTube channel, yeah, there you'll see technical analysis. You'll see here at the bottom left. Okay, here. This one. Watch this video. This is a very good video about technical analysis. This is Mr. Juanes Barredo, which is our chief technical analyst. He's also my boss. He's really good. Take a look at the 4 videos that he has here. He will teach you the basics of technical analysis, how to read the chart, the COL charting tool, okay? How to read this, and how to make investment decision based on this chart. And that's what technical analysis is. Now, for the fundamental analysis, I would suggest going to this report. So in our archive, okay, read this report called Calling the Shots. We had one in July 11. Calling the Shots is a report that tells you what's happening in the market, as in the stock market in general. It will tell you whether what's happening with it, why are we getting hit by inflation, is it still bad, or in this case, could the worst could already be over. Okay, so here, read this, and then what I do is that if there's any words here that you are not very familiar with, I always use this website called Investopedia. So just type this Investopedia. Don't worry, I'll share the link with everyone. Okay, then what you do is that click on the search and you can just type in anything that you don't understand in the research. For example, if you are not sure what the PE ratio is, but you always hear it, type that in, then it will tell you what it is and all about the PE ratio. And for me, I find this so easy to read because they do it in such a nice way. They even have examples, key takeaways. They even have videos sometimes at the end for you. So for me, Investopedia is really a good source. It's like a Wikipedia for investors. Okay, so I'm sharing you my secrets here, that it's really nice to have this, and just type in the search whatever you don't understand from the report so that it will make sense for you. Okay, that's your fundamental analysis. This will help you analyze companies. Okay. So for those who like to know all about this, okay, do it one by one. Okay, mutual fund first, then REITs, fundamental analysis, then technical analysis. That's how you do it. Okay. So we are actually reaching the end of this webinar. I'm sorry we had actually extended a little bit, but I hope that it's okay with everyone. Okay. So I now like to go over now to the summary of my presentation here. So again, whenever you are navigating your COL account, start first with knowing what's happening. Take a look at the research and read the prices. Then you make your move, do your transaction, and you can always have the option to automate it. And then last is to monitor it using your portfolio, your monthly ledgers, and then keep adding to your investment so that it will grow for you. Okay. Again, upcoming webinars, if you'd like, just register for them. Okay. If you don't have a COL account yet, just go to our sign up page. It's also on our COL website. Just ready the requirements. Everything is online. Just fill it out, submit. Just use a device with a camera and then fund your account with at least 1,000 pesos to activate it. Okay. So now we are now going to the Q&A portion here. So I do know that a lot of you are busy. So if you would want to leave already, because I've taken up a lot more of your time, then go ahead. I wish you well. Thank you for attending. But those who would like to stay, I will dedicate some time to answer as many questions as I can that you've raised in the Q&A portion. Okay. So I'll just go through them and I'll try to answer them the best I can. Okay. So my colleague here will flash some of your questions here for you so that everyone can read it while I answer them. There. Okay. So, okay, why don't we just start a little bit? Okay. Okay. So somebody asked here, okay, so while we're waiting for my colleague to flash the questions, one person here asked, is it okay if more than 1,000 pesos for the account activation? Yes, definitely. 1,000 pesos is just the minimum to activate the account. There's no fee to open the account. So 100% of that goes into your account. Just take note of some of the bank fees, please. Okay. And then if you want to add more to that, go ahead, because I do know there are some stocks wherein you need a little bit more money to buy into them. So go ahead. There is no maximum to fund your COL account. Okay, first question here. What if a stock says buy, but the earnings per share is negative? Should we still buy it? Okay, wait. Okay, for me, a negative earnings per share is not really something that's good. So even though it's a buy, it just means it's cheap, but I'd rather prioritize investing in another stock that has a better EPS growth number. Okay, so you can shortlist it because there's a buy recommendation, so it's cheap, but I think there's other companies that have a positive earnings per share growth, and I'd rather focus on those. Okay. Next question, please. Okay, is EPS growth a forecast for 1 year only? Okay, usually it is a per year. So there's a 2021 EPS growth forecast, there's a 2022, and so on. So they usually do it on a per yearly basis. Yes. So here, we do a forecast for that. Then companies will try to hit or miss it. So that's why if they miss it, it's bad news, because usually analysts would really base this on historical performance, as well as sometimes companies would even declare what they think their growth will be. So if they hit their mark, that's actually bad. What if they go over it, meaning they earn higher than expected, they grown more than expected? That's definitely good news. That means they did very well. Okay. Next question, please. Okay, is there a way I could change columns? Let's say I want to display FD, dividend column, etc. Okay. I think for the investment guide, you can't. Let me just do a quick look. You can't do so though. Oh, I see here that you cannot mix or pick and mix and match, but what you can do is that there's a PDF file for the full report that you can print out if you want. But in here, you can only sort it. Like click on the header, it will sort it for you. But I don't think you can choose the columns for you to take a look at. Okay, next question, please. Okay. How to know what type of stock I'm buying, common or preferred? Okay, so there are different types of shares, but if it's just saying company, BDO, BPI, these are all common. And majority of the shares in the market are common shares. You know you're buying preferred if the name on that stock says preferred share. So let me just share my screen lang, ha? Okay, share. I'll show you how to see if it's preferred. Okay. SMC 2C. Oh, okay. Wala na palang 2C. Wait lang. Let me see. Okay. So usually, okay, the stock code will be different. It will have another P or a series number at the end. That's when you know it's a preferred share. But you can also take a look at the stock symbols or the stock list. Okay, and let's see. There will be, it will say there it's a preferred share. Now, if you want to know the different types of shares, I would suggest that you go to one of the seminars that we have, picking the right kind of stock investment for you. But basically, there are five types talaga. Okay, I'll show you the five. Common shares is the most usual. That would be your SMC, San Miguel Corporation, your BDO, your BPI. These are all common shares. This means you're investing in the company itself. Now, if you want to invest in preferred share, meaning they give you a dividend, a fixed dividend for it every year until they buy it back from you, then that's called the preferred share. So that is you have preferred shares under SMC. You have preferred shares under SMC has the most preferred shares. Oh, there's also, let me see. Cebu Pacific also has a preferred. Some Ayala also have preferred. Konti lang sila actually. Double Dragon, EEI. So there is a couple and you earn dividends from them, but the price don't really change a lot. It's because the company will buy it back at the price of when they issued it. So it's not really for price appreciation. It's really for the dividends that you'll get every year. Then there's REITs. So how do you know if it's a REIT? It actually says there it's a REIT. Okay, Phil REIT. There's the word REIT in it, which stands for Real Estate Investment Trust. So these are companies that has real estate assets inside of it, and then you'll be earning through dividends and price appreciation here. Now, there's also an ETF, and there's only one, FM ETF. An ETF is an exchange-traded fund. There's only one, FM ETF, and it follows the Philippine index, and that is this one, okay? So the index is, let me just annotate this one. If this is down for the day, FM ETF will also be down for the day. If this is up, it also goes up. It just mirrors the index, okay? And then last would be warrants. I haven't seen warrants in a while, so I think we can not know so much about it, or you can just type that into Investopedia. But there's another one called warrants, but I haven't seen one in a while. I think it's mostly redeemed already. Okay, so there. I hope I was able to answer that question. Majority is common shares. If it's not common share, it will actually stay on the stock name, but if it's a preferred share, a REIT, or FM ETF. There. Okay, so my colleague, you can take the screen back again. Sorry to disrupt that slide for the Q&A. Okay, so next question. Oh, do our COL accounts have an expiry in case we become inactive, but we do have shares or stocks on companies bought? Okay. Currently, if you have shares or funds in your account, it can become a dormant account, but we cannot close it because you still have amount inside it. So that will still be okay. Now, in case you don't have any stock or funds inside it and no transaction, I think within 3 years, we have to already inform you that it has to be closed. Then you can just reapply to open a new COL account if you like. So don't worry on that end. Okay. So here, don't worry about the inactivity. If you have stocks or shares inside it, it will just stay there unless those stocks or shares were actually delisted, bought, or it was taken out from the PSE. Okay. Okay, next question. Would we still buy an asset if it says buy, but in the report it implies bad or lowering price? Okay. For me, I'd rather wait. For example, like Ayala Land a while ago, it has a buy recommendation, but it had bad news about it and it had the lowering fair value. For me, I'd wait. I'd wait for news to get better before buying into it. There. Then you can just take a look at other stocks that have better news with a buy recommendation as well. So at least here, it will help you prioritize what stock to purchase. There. So for me, try to buy something that has all these good things together, not just one or two, but take a look at it as a whole picture. There. Next question. Do we still have? Okay, yay. I think I've answered most of the questions already. I think on the chat box here, let me just check. Oh, okay. Somebody is asking here on the chat box, I'm interested in buying just before the ex-div dates. Will the ex-div dates be announced prior? Yes, they will be announced, but usually price of that stock tends to go up when it's near the X date. It's because people, if they want a dividend and if the dividend is a lot, they tend to buy it. And if there's a lot of buyers, price tends to go up. So for me, I'd rather buy it when things are quiet so I don't have to run after the price. So for me, you can, it's just that it might go up already closer to the ex-div date. Okay. I believe that, question number 2, if I miss printing my monthly ledger, can I still retrieve it? Yes, you can. We keep about 1 year's worth of monthly ledger. So you can just print it all in one go later on after a few months. But we keep about 1 year's worth. Yeah. Another question here in the chat box. I'm interested in joining more COL Financial webinar. Where can I find the schedule? Okay, just go to the www.colfinancial.com. In the middle bottom part, it says their investor education seminar. Just click on that. You can register there or see the calendar there. And last, the REIT snapshot. Is the estimate dividend per share column an amount per dividend payout or the total annual dividend payout? It's the estimated annual dividend. So it's the estimated annual dividend yield, meaning how much we have estimated that this company will give you in dividends in an annualized figure. But if you want to know what is the actual payout, go to the dividend calendar in your COL account for you to see how much per share they are going to give. And that is more definite. Okay. Will there be a Tagalog webinar version for this? Okay, we haven't really made a Tagalog version yet. However, I think we can, maybe in the future, maybe after this seminar, we'll send out an email asking for your feedback. Maybe you can put that in as a suggestion. Then we can do one in the future. I'm honestly more comfortable talking in English, but kaya ko rin naman mag-Tagalog, so I can also do that. Pwede ko rin naman siya gawin para sa inyo. Sana, sa susunod. Yan. Kaya naman eh. Or kung pwede, Taglish. Kasi kung dire-diretsong Tagalog, baka mahirapan ako ng kaunti. Kasi ang daming terms ng stock market na medyo mahirap Tagalog eh. So baka Taglish kakayanin. Yan. And then, okay. Now, here, somebody is asking, what is my position in the Philippine stock market at the moment? Is it good or bad? Honestly, I think we got hit a lot already for the year. High oil prices, devaluating peso, English, high inflation rates. So sa tingin ko, bugbog na talaga ang Philippine stock market. But so far in the last few days, I've been seeing the stock market a bit more stable. It's not going down below 6,000. And I can see some companies trying to recover. So I think when I read the Calling the Shots report, it says that the worst may be over soon. So I'm optimistic for that. And definitely, I think it's also a good time to start investing because a lot of the companies are actually on the cheaper side. So if you want to start, it's a good time to start now. Just don't rush into it, just by little, because I don't know how long this will be, but it seems like the worst may be over soon. So that's actually, I'm happy to read that report. It's because sometimes when I look at the stock market, me as an investor myself, and all I see is red, it can be quite depressing. But I think now I'm a bit more optimistic on where the stock market will go. Yeah. Okay, so I think I answered most of it already. So thank you very much, everyone, for staying with me. I have extended and gotten more of your time than what we had scheduled for. But thank you very much for being great participants. For those who had their COL accounts, I hope you were able to follow me because I'd like learning together. And then we'll send an email out for you soon. If you want the links or if you have missed the Excel, the links, don't worry about it. You can just email us at helpdesk@callfinancial.com. We'll email that to you right away. Okay, just in case you still have not received it. And then take care, everyone. And I wish everyone a prosperous journey in your investment. Bye, guys. Thank you very much.